charges, expenses, and other information. Read and consider it carefully before investing.
6 cents. Well, joining us now to talk about the oil industry and what's going on here, these gas prices are now at record heights for this time of year, and energy policy as we can discern it and priorities as best we understand them. Professor Michael Graetz from the Columbia University Law School. He's the author of End of Energy, The Unmaking of America's Environment, Security, and Independence. Good to have you with us. And Thomas Pyle, the president of the Institute for Energy Research. And I want to just say, first of all, thank you very much for being here. And Denton, let me start with you. We have oil companies that are just absolutely paying a ton of money. I'm going to turn to you, Professor, for this, if I may. A ton of money, as we just said. More money is being paid in taxes by these major oil companies than they're making in profits. Why is this administration, do you think, is it reasonable for them to be attacking these oil companies, given that?
Well, I haven't seen their profit numbers. I'd be shocked if they're paying more in taxes than they're making in profit.
Take my word for it, as we just reported. We didn't make those numbers up. So, I mean, that's the reality.
Well, the consumer is paying most of those prices.
No, the consumer pays everything. All of it. All of it is on the back of the consumer.
Shareholders pay some of it, the wage earners pay some of it, and the consumers pay some of it. But in any event, look, the oil companies don't need large subsidies to be drilling for oil when oil is over $100 a barrel. The demand for the oil is enough to do that. I don't think that's an issue.
Well, let's see what the issues are. What is the issue here? We've got oil that that we need to refine. We're bringing in just about half of our oil that we do market in this country. What is the problem here? Demand is at a 15-year low. Supply is certainly high. Why in the world are we watching prices move higher?
Well, we're seeing prices go higher because of the decrease in the worldwide spare capacity of the global commodity that is oil. And if we had an energy policy in this country that said we're going to do what we can to increase that worldwide spare capacity, we're the third largest producer of oil in the world. We're swimming in energy. We have more energy resources in this country than any other nation, but yet we have a government that has a lock and key on the vast majority of the federal lands where a lot of this energy lies. There's no reason for us to be paying what we're paying at the pump, and it has nothing to do with the subsidies that oil companies receive. And by the way, if you want to compare on a BTU basis, wind energy, these other alternative forms of energy that the administration has been pumping up with billions of our taxpayer money, their subsidies dwarf any kind of tax credits that the oil and gas companies receive.
Tom Pyle, thank you very much, and I apologize earlier. Professor, you just heard Tom say straight out. I mean, why is there this disconnect? Why, after all of these years of energy crises, all of the politics and the rhetoric and the nonsense, why is it the industry itself, academia, and the media can't conform to and coalesce around a reality that is shared? That is, what is the level of supply? What is the level of demand? Why do people talk free markets when we're talking about, in some instances, oligopoly, and in the case of OPEC, an outright cartel? Why is there this disconnect even amongst those who should know better?
Well, I don't know why there's a disconnect. The problem is that we've had this dependency on foreign oil for 40 years. We've had 8 presidents, 5 Republicans and 3 Democrats. Each one of them looks for a silver bullet. When do they look for a silver bullet? When oil prices spike or when gasoline prices at the pump spike. And this is not a short-term problem. This is a long-term problem. It's been going on for a long time. We've been dependent on the Saudis since 1973.
Why is there this reflex in this country? And Professor, I'm going to come back to you with looking for the answer to this. The question I will turn to both you and Tom. I want to understand, why is it when we have folks who are policymakers, lawmakers, elected officials, when they want to run from a short-term responsibility to take action, do they start talking about the long term? We're going to come right back with that question for our panel here in just moments.